live from the Rockingham Speedway in beautiful Rockingham, North Carolina. It is the Friends of Sim Racers Tour Racing League's Mountain Dew Dash Series for the first time in segment 3 of the 2020 season. Hello, folks. I'm your host, Joe Twansky, here with you for another what should be an action-packed, thrilling, use all the words to describe it race here at The Rock. A track that is often very difficult on tires and on drivers, and definitely on the temperament of said drivers. So excited for you to be joining us this evening. Again, I am Joe Twansky here with you for tonight's broadcast. If you'd like to get involved in the Fast Racing League, there's a few ways you can do so. If you go down to the track, if you go down to the link in the description for the Fast Racing League, you can find out more information. Sign up there. So it looks like we might be having some issues with the GNL TV. We'll keep an eye on that. Hold on, folks. See if we can't get this issue fixed real quick. We'll be right back after this quick break. Alright, once that and we're back. So sorry about that, everybody. Hopefully you're not and I have no idea if I'm back. Hold on. Alright, we are back. So, with all that being said, welcome to the Rockingham race. So glad you could join us here. Really looking forward to tonight's race. Opening practice is now wound down at the Rockingham Speedway. It should be 99 laps of thrilling racing for you folks. Again, I am Joe Twansky, your host here on JTN for what should be a thrilling race. We saw last week a scuffle at the end of the race between Tommy Bordeaux and Robert Bauckham. That led to Joseph Weaver ending up winning that race. Weaver is entered in this event, making his second consecutive start in the series for the first time in a while, especially since we've been broadcasting here on JTN. A few other quick notes here. Again, you can check out the Fast Racing League in the link in the description labeled sign up for the Fast Racing League or something of the sort. You can also go to our various links. We have a link to our Facebook page where you can like and follow us there. We'll post every time before we go live. With all that being said, last week I wasn't able to share the news with you because we were still working out the details, but we will be again going live this Saturday for the United States Online Racing League's Red Bull Cup Series Race 2 of their playoffs. It should be very exciting for them, and we're really looking forward to that as a group here at JTN. Continuing to wait to make sure everything has gotten worked out here. Still seeing some issues going on with the ticker. So that is not good as of right now. Again, so sorry about all these technical difficulties. These things usually don't happen here, I can assure you that. Yeah, I have no idea why these things are happening right now. It looks like we're having issues with the ticker being off by a pretty wide margin, so I'm not liking that. Obviously, again, if you're joining us for the first time, this would not be the one to kind of get a good look-see here. Technical difficulties, as they can often plague different things. So, I'm thinking what we're going to do, we're going to see if the ticker ends up working out here with the start of happy hour. You see Andrew Lemke there at the end of pit road in his 42 Evergreen Speedway machine. You also see Andrew Miller following him out. So the Andrew and Andrew show currently out there for practice. There you see Shaun Whitehill in his number 12 Cheez-It Ford Mustang. So those drivers all getting out here early on in practice, or in happy hour practice. Problem we seem to be having. So I'm going to try one thing. You're going to have to bear with me, of course, here. You're going to see a little look-see behind the scenes of kind of how this should set up. So this usually should set up right here, and it's not. That is definitely not what you want to be happening. And this number here should be a 0. Oh, brother. Alright. Again, so sorry about that, folks. We're going to try to get this all straightened out here on our end. I'm going to stop the stream, and it should come back in a couple minutes. If I can't get this fixed, we'll just go with the basic old NR graphics. But I'll be right back. Go grab some popcorn. Alright, so back here on JTN. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. We should have that ticker problem figured out. I have no idea what OBS was doing there. We've kind of worked around with our layout a little bit more, as you can see. The lap counter's a little bit updated, so that way it's more accurate. It doesn't have some weird, goofy cutting on it. And just some small improvements we've made for you, the viewers at home. Again, I am Joe Twansky, again, here for JTN. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're not going to let you miss this race. We'll go through the starting lineup when the cars grid. But first, we're going to go to our Autosim driver spotlight this evening, and it's none other than the Rockingham ace, Mr. Shaun Whitehill, driver of the number 12 Cheez-It Menards Ford Mustang here. You can see him whizzing by down the front straightaway. Shaun is a multi-time winner at Rockingham. This is his favorite track in all the land, in all the game. And he is looking for a great run tonight to lock himself into the TDR Racing League's All-Star Race, which will take place Saturday night. Drivers that win in this fast Racing League, TDR Racing League combined series, they get entry, by winning a race here, they will get an entry into the TDR All-Star Race, which is this Saturday, and also the Fast All-Star Race, which will be later on at a to-be-determined date. Again, Shaun Whitehill, tonight's Autosim Driver Spotlight. For more information about Autosim, check out the link in the description. Autosim is not a NASCAR simulation, text-based simulation game. It's a lot of fun. You can also check out some videos right here on my YouTube channel, at Joe Twansky. And again, with all that being said, Shaun Whitehill, tonight's Autosim Driver Spotlight. Again, working through some kinks on our end, trying to get those all figured out. Thank you so much for joining us, working with us. Continue to view this while we get those things figured out. Happy hour is coming to a close here, and should be complete in a few moments. as we continue to try to iron some things out here. We continue to get these issues ironed out here, and we are joined by Mr. Tommy Bordeaux, fresh off a race at Knockos. Again, welcome back to the booth, Tommy.
Thank you, Joe. I'm glad to be here. Sorry I'm a little late, but boy, I'm still shaking from Knockos. I never shook this hard in a while in a race. It was a great one.
Yeah, and I was watching a little bit of that. It sounded like it was a great one. We're getting everything set up here, right here on JTN. So, like to say, we talked earlier. We talked about how Shaun Whitehill is definitely a favorite this evening for tonight's race. Would you agree with that?
Oh, wholeheartedly, yeah. I mean, that's your guy when it comes to Rockingham, Shaun Whitehill. I've seen his name on that rock a couple times out there in front of the whole thing. He's gonna get his name on a rock again. I guarantee it.
And he's definitely going to do that tonight. I have a strong feeling. That's why he's our Autosim driver spotlight for this evening.
A bit of a surprise from the Shaun Whitehill camp. Not as fast as he would have liked in qualifying. We'll go through this starting order in a bit here. But yeah, just about a tenth and a half off of Randall Coleman, the pole sitter. So kind of surprising, though. Rockingham, single lap speed is never the key to winning. It's all about that long run tire wear management. Wouldn't you agree, Joe?
Oh, I definitely agree with that, Tommy. It's going to be a fast race tonight. It's only 99 laps for these drivers, and they definitely have to make sure that they do not use up their tires. Speaking of tires, you know, we saw problems last week between you and the 18 of Robert Balkin. Would you care to talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, I can talk about that. Hey, it was the end of the race and we're fighting for a win. I got to say, NR 2003, as much as we love this game and we do love it very much, contact and collisions aren't exactly the best. You're not going to get, realistic there. I mean, internet connections and different pings and all that kind of thing. It's going to be tough to ever make contact with anybody. All I wanted to do was just give him a little tap on the rear to get him loose, and instead accidentally spun him. And it happens, but I'm not too concerned. I think everything's good. It's not like I was for the championship or anything. So life's good, and we'll move on. And I'm happy to be back in the booth this week for sure.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking to our in-race reporter, Ricky Collette, throughout the race. He's going to be driving the number 98 car this evening. So we'll get him in during some cautions, hopefully. Make sure we're all set up on there. Again, so sorry for some of the technical difficulties we've had on our end to start this race. As we continue to try to work through those and make sure everything is set up for your viewing experience at home. Again, my name's Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, again, is, as always, it seems like. I don't want to say as always, because sometimes, Tommy, you participate in these races, and you definitely know firsthand what these drivers are going to race like this evening.
As they say, Joe, well, a couple of times I'll go out there, but right now up in the booth, feels good. Got a great view of the whole track. This is quite the beautiful facility. It's so nice to have it maintained here on NR 2003.
Yeah, and it's great to see some of these older tracks getting put into the game and continuing to flourish in this game that we call NR 2003, in this game that we call home right here on JTN, your home for NR 2003 sim racing broadcasts. Whew! It's been a tumultuous. Can't say words tonight. It's been a crazy. We'll say crazy. 17 minutes here so far for us at JTN. Hopefully the race lives up to all this hype that we're trying to give it here. Rockingham is always a great race, and it definitely will be that this evening as well. If you're new,
looks like we got a feed here. How about that?
We did it. We did it. We did it, Reddit. We did it. But yeah. So if you're tuning in for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video if you like it. I always say you can hit the dislike button, but it hurts my feelings, it hurts my pupper's feelings, and I'm sure it hurts your feelings too, Tommy.
Yeah, Joe, my feelings get hurt really hard after that. I try and be more of a stoic, but I can't lie, Joe. On the inside, it's just a bunch of soft and gushy feelings.
Yeah, it just burns you up on the inside. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in, staying with us through all the technical difficulties we had at the start of the broadcast. We'll be going racing here pretty soon. Lucky enough that the fast officials are so kind as to give us some extra time here. Really appreciate them allowing us to broadcast.
Test.
As you heard, Ricky Collette talking to us there. We'll talk to him later. Tommy, you heard him too on the radio, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll be all set as we continue to work through all these issues tonight. That way we get you another in-race reporter like we did last week, because I feel like that was a really great feature we had.
I don't know if you got me, but I got you on a whisper, and Tommy too.
As we got him on a whisper. We definitely got him on the whisper. Tommy, why don't you take us through his starting lineup?
Yeah, Joe. Well, out front, like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Randall Coleman with a pole speed of 23.019 seconds gets our pole here at Rockingham. On the outside of row 1, Andrew Miller in the number 47 car. In row 2, the 15 of Matt Watkins, and the number 12 of Shaun Whitehill, of course. Whitehill, our Autosim driver spotlight. Making up row 3 is the number 42 of Andrew Lemke, and the 98 of Ricky Collette, our in-race reporter here at JTN. Row 4 sees Cody Luke on the inside in position number 7, and Darren Ingram in the 88 car making his series debut, or at least it's been a while for that 88
His
team.
JTN debut.
JTN debut, absolutely. Although we remember him from Saturday night at USORL. He's 27. He's going to start number 11th in the order. Brian Wolfe in the 29, rolling off number 12. Bill Myrna in the 3 car, 13th, and Keith Patton in the 14th position. Running off the field in the number 69 machine. Joe, we got a good field here for Rockingham. This is going to be a good one.
We do. We have a great field this evening. Again, so happy you're going to join us here on JTN. Randall Coleman's going to lead him down to the line as the pace car rolls through turns 3 and 4 here at The Rock. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? It's definitely going to smell like burnt rubber, fuel, and just a lot of fumes, and hopefully not a lot of fumes coming out of the drivers' helmets after this race. We're hoping for a clean one here. Get this nice, tidy, and neat, but make it a great race for us. As the cars come off of turn 4, they wait. Green flag is in the air. We're underway racing at The Rock.
Already, Randall Coleman and Andrew Miller side by side going into 1. Looks like Randall's going to have the advantage big time. You want that lower line in turn 1. You get up too high, you can have some troubles exiting the corner. Right now, everything's staying clean.
Yeah, and you talk about, a lot of times we talk about having momentum off the corner. Maybe that outside line gives you a little more momentum. We didn't see that. We saw that work a couple times last week at New Hampshire, but that's not going to be the case this evening with the low line being so preferred here at Rockingham, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different here. This racetrack really lends itself to that low line. And I think the way the track geometry is coming out of 2, it kind of flattens out on that high side. So if you get stuck up there, it could put you in the wall if you're not careful. Right now, Randall Coleman, speaking of being careful, the whole field better be careful because right now he's running away with it.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, too. You got to think about saving tires, though. You don't want to be running and abusing your stuff this early on in the race. So if he just continues to set some good fast lap times, but not too fast, here in his number 9 switch Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, Joe, that's going to be the talk of the town tonight. Tires, and more tires. Boy, if you have a chance to put on new ones, you're going to take it. And for these drivers right now, they got to keep that in mind that every lap is just less grip for these bad boys. These Goodyear tires on these awesome race cars. So for them, they're going to have to manage that. Make sure they don't burn them.
Whitehill sitting in 4th. He has not been in a Dash Series race in quite a while, but having a great run so far. You look farther back, you see Ricky Collette in that 98 STP machine. He's kind of running at the back of this pack, Tommy. Is he maybe saving his tires a little bit, or is he struggling with the lack of experience behind the wheel of one of these Dash Series cars?
Well, when you talk about Ricky Collette and you talk about experience, the word none doesn't factor into that sentence at all. Ricky Collette's a very experienced driver. He knows what he's doing, and he's looking to save those tires early on. He doesn't want to burn it up early, like we mentioned. And right now, speaking of burning it up early, going back to the battle for the lead here, Randall Coleman dropping back just a little bit.
Do you think Randall's maybe, getting on himself about, maybe using up those tires a little too much here as he's continuing to try to extend the lead over the 47?
Yeah, you got to be careful. That's the thing, Joe. He doesn't, thinking about the end of the race, right? If you win by 1/10 of a second, or 10 million seconds. It doesn't matter. You won the race. So you can afford to just kind of take it easy, go slow. As long as he's ahead of that 47 car, he really has no issue up there. And I want to pull in a personal anecdote from Sunday night. Actually, I had an iRacing ARCA Series race here in another league on iRacing. And boy, that was kind of the name of the game there too, tire saving. And same situation Randall's in. I was out in front and I didn't have to push hard, just had to stay out in front and ended up getting the win. So maybe Randall Coleman can do some of that here tonight.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, still leading here. Would like to also apologize again. We were ironing out a lot of graphical issues there. We got the ticker working so you can get the live standings, but it appears that our lap counter is not working, so going to put some extra duties on Tommy tonight to kind of give you updates on when we hit those 10, 20-ish lap marks for you this evening. And sorry, Tommy, but I'm making you work a little bit extra this evening.
No problem, Joe, but I'll expect the raise after this one.
If you're loving the sim racing content you're seeing right here on JTN on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on the video, go to our Facebook page, give us a like over there, and also set your calendars, write it down, put a sticky note on the wall. Remember, we will be going live Saturday night at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time for what is the elimination race in the round of 10 for the United States Online Racing League's Red Bull Cup Series. Join us then. It's going to be an exciting race. We had a great race at Richmond, and we're having a great race this evening, really. It's been really clean compared to last week at New Hampshire.
Yeah, you love to see it, Joe. As Randall Coleman, our leader here, comes to the line, that's going to complete lap number 10. So we're already about a tenth of the way through the race here, and so far, no yellows. Of course, now that I say that, I bet there's going to be one, but I think all these drivers just taking it easy. They realize this is a tire track, right? You got to pay attention to those tires, make sure they're not wearing them out. That's going to cause drivers to be a little bit less aggressive, at least early on. Expect to see that intensity ramp up, especially when we get to that TWB 10 to go.
Yeah, it'll be really important when we get to that 10 to go mark, where these guys stand on tires, you know. You might see tonight some of these guys maybe short pit to try to gain an advantage early on in a run to have those fresh tires. We see Andrew Lemke in the wall there in his 42 machine. Oh, another car in the wall, harder into the outside retaining wall towards the back of the pack.
Well, we wanted to say that these cars have been saving their tires, but maybe some people aren't. Even if they're back in the field, you never know. Something might be wrong with the suspension geometry that's causing the car. I'm just kidding. It's a sim race. No, they might be struggling saving their tires, obviously. So that could be a bad sign, especially early on to this thing, as you saw Shaun Whitehill a little bit ago getting down on the apron. That's not good.
Yeah, but he made the pass on the 15 of Matt Watkins, and then that also opened the door for Andrew Lemke and Darren Ingram in the 88. Ingram now looking to the inside of Lemke for the 4th position.
Hey, when it comes to being at the end of a race, Ingram's pretty good at that. We saw Darren on Saturday night in that 24 car, able to climb his way up to a 3rd place finish in a race where he really wasn't a factor much after an early spin. So that 88 car, I mean, if there's someone to be there at the end of this thing, definitely look for him, as we have some smoke out there. Looks like we had a slow car that might have had an issue.
Yeah, it looked like it was the 27 of Tyler Stallhood in that Donut Media Toyota Supra. So tough break for Tyler. Hopefully, you know, gets a quick caution. He'll definitely be coming down pit road, get some fresh tires.
Yeah, tires going to be at a premium, and if you spin or have any kind of issue there where you get loose and break traction, that's going to heat him up a lot, and that's going to wear him down a lot. So, fortunately for Tyler Stallhood, some early issues, but if we get a couple of yellows, who knows, maybe he'll be back in this thing. But right now, it's the Randall Coleman show, still maintaining that gap back to Andrew Miller as the rest of the field's falling back.
Yeah, I want to, though, pay attention to our Autosim driver spotlight. Shaun Whitehill in that 12 car. He's sitting there in 3rd. He's definitely a more conservative driver when it comes to saving tires. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing a great job of that so far in this race, especially with how far he's fallen behind, with this being his best track.
Yeah, we've talked about it. This guy knows Rockingham. You know, when you think of Holmes, you think of Michael Holligan, because nobody knows Holmes like Holligan. When you think of Rockingham, you think of Shaun Whitehill, because nobody knows Rockingham like Shaun Whitehill. Right now, that 12 car, he's hanging up there. He's moved up a couple spots from a poor qualifying performance. He's definitely going to be a factor by the time this race is over.
Well, could you also talk about, too, we have a race in the Fast Cup Series, which you're going to see a race recap of that eventually in a few weeks, about 3 weeks' time at this Rockingham Speedway. Could some of these guys maybe be coming here to get some extra experience for that race later on down the road?
Absolutely, Joe, and while you've given me an existential crisis thinking that I should be out on that track, I'm looking forward to that race. It's going to be a good one. I feel like every time we go to Rockingham, it's a good race. Tires, of course, like we mentioned all night long, going to be a big factor there, and it could be somebody's ticket that gets punched to the Final Four at that race.
Yeah, as we saw the 12 go by there, it sounded like he cut the motor off. I wonder if he's maybe saving a little bit of fuel, trying to go a little longer on this first run. Is he, again, saving fuel here going down into turn 3?
It wouldn't be surprised, Joe. You see Randall Coleman now is washing up a little bit up the track. Those tires might be falling away. That's going to give Andrew Miller the opportunity to close up on him. And speaking of closing up, Shaun Whitehill, boy, he's closed the gap 2/10 every lap for the past couple, and now he's within a second of our leaders.
Yeah, and if you're closing the gap and you're saving fuel, what does that say about the tires on that 12 car? All these cars,
those tires are good.
all these cars have the same setup. It's a fixed setup sim race, so everyone's got the same stuff underneath them. It really comes down to driver talent, whether it be driver talent one-on-one, driving as hard as you can, or saving your tires a little bit, because those tires are just so important here at Rockingham.
They're crucial, Joe, and you can see Randall Coleman, you're not able to put that car right on that bottom line like he was at the beginning of the race. That's going to affect his speed. Shaun Whitehill, right now, he's trying his best to save his tires, and it looks like it's paying off. We'll see if, as we come to lap 22 here, he can get any closer this time by.
As Andrew Miller, though, we continue to watch this battle for the lead. Miller really looking to the inside of Coleman, but that time he's going to wash way up the track. Hope to get a run off turn 2.
It's going to be tough for Andrew Miller to get by him because it's one thing to catch him, it's another to pass, and if you don't have the tires to pass, then forget it. The only thing you can really rely on is maybe a mistake from Randall Coleman or something of the sort. But right now, Shaun Whitehill again closing in now just 7/10 back as we complete lap number 22, that time by.
At 22 for our good friend Ryan Pace. We see Ryan tuning in the chat saying, "Go Shaun," that's his teammate in that 12 car for Team Twansky, so I'm going to plug my team just a little bit here. Shaun doing a great job for us, running third, but get back that journalism hat on. Oh, he's really catching these two leaders.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, right now, that's probably the car with the best tires in the field.
Looks like the yellow flag was out. Yep, the caution flag is out here. Looks like the 69 car has a lot of damage. The 98, though, of Ricky Collette, looks like he fell way back, so we're going to try to get you a replay of that.
Yeah, some side damage to the 51. That might have been from an earlier incident, but certainly something out on the track caused fast officials to throw the yeller.
As you're going to watch Ricky Collette going down into turn 3. He's going to go lower than Ingram, but the car just breaks loose on him. Really uncharacteristic of Ricky in that TWB.com STP Toyota Camry. Tough break, hard hit to the outside wall. We'll try to dial him up here in a quick minute.
Boy, that's going to be tough, especially affecting the handling of that car. That does happen if you hit the rear. We'll have to see how much body work they have to replace on that one, but hopefully it's not too much, and hopefully the balance of that car stays the same, although if you're spinning out, maybe you want the balance to be different.
Well, you definitely want something to change, and they're not able to change anything on the car except fix that damage a little, and sometimes if you get the right damage, it makes the car a little looser, or in his case, he probably wants it to be a little tighter. After he completes his pit stop, gets off pit road, we'll try to dial him up here to ask him what happened, what the heck happened there, in just a quick minute. Again, thank you so much for joining us. So sorry about some of the technical difficulties we're having with our graphics overlay for you fans at home. Trying to make your experience as good as we can. We've updated everything to get the flag there on the left-hand side so it's a little more accurate. Ricky's saying there's no damage. He's still in it. We're going to dial him up here. Hey, Ricky Collette. This is Joe Twansky and Tommy Bordeaux up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Joe. I got copy. What do you need?
Well, you had a big moment down there in turn 3. Can you describe what was going through your head when that happened?
Well, I knew it was going to happen at some point. It just happened then.
All right.
This track's running pretty tight right now. Just the way that it's set up, though. Rockingham's a strange track. The turns are weird. The bumps are weird. The paving's weird. This track's weird. So the whole turn's kind of very tight. But going into the turns, the whole rear end, it's almost like it's not touching the ground. It's so light. And it takes a little bit of pushing, just for it to spin around. So.
Well, and real quick, what do you got to do to get back up into position to try to possibly win this race?
Well, yeah, just kind of holds your time here, Joe. It's just a matter of saving tires, saving car, waiting for people to sort of make mistakes. You really can't race here. These guys are tough. It's you're back in 8th place and they're making it 10 lanes wide, and act like that you were trying to pass them when you never even got close. So It's tough racing up here, and everyone's running so close. You're really going to be it's really more of a game of who messes up first. So you really got to stay on that tire saving, just kind of run your own race, pace yourself, and not run ahead of it. I'm still a little rusty here, so still shaking off the rust a little bit. We're good, no damage. I'll be back in this.
All right, go get him, Ricky.
Thank you.
That was Ricky Collette. Tommy, when you hear that from a driver, he's talking about people being all over the place. What does that mean?
Well, all over the place can mean a couple things, Joe. In racing, of course, all over the place can mean either they're not holding a line very well, which at a track like this with tires going away, definitely you could see that happening. Or in sim racing, one important component, of course, because it's online, is people's internet connections. Sometimes you might see cars jump around, jump out of existence, and back in. That can be a variety of things, including their connection, the server's connection.
We're having a lot of problems tonight. We lost the stream connection again, of course. But we're still here with you guys right here on JTN. As the green flag's going to wave here. Tommy, what lap is it?
Right now, Joe, we're going to take the restart, lap number 28, starting here at Rockingham. We got about a third of this race left, and right now, Randall Coleman out in front.
And Randall, again, gets a pretty decent jump there, but he's going to get challenged from Shaun Whitehill, who's looking to the inside of Andrew Miller here for the second place.
And take a look at Whitehill. Now, this time, Joe, he's starting up in that second row. A couple times, we've seen Shaun Whitehill be able to close that gap towards the end of the last run. I think now that he's in a better track position than he started the race in, he's going to have a real shot not only to close that gap, but honestly, make it his own. Take the lead of this race and drive away if he can save the tires well.
And we're thinking he might be able to save those tires a lot better than these other guys. You see Darren Ingram now looking to the inside of Matt Watkins for the fourth place. Matt Watkins, your Segment 1 and Segment 2 champion, struggling for his standards. You know, he's running top 5, but we're used to seeing that 15 car battling for the lead.
Yeah, we certainly are, Joe. It's kind of a mystery why he's running back in 5th right now. He didn't have the greatest qualifying run either, but I think he'll be up there by the end of this thing if he can just keep his head level and keep his tires safe. And that is exactly the kind of driver Matt Watkins is. I think when you think about a closer of a race, he's always there at the end. Even if he hadn't shown up before at the beginning or the middle, he's typically there when the laps are ticking down as we complete lap number 30 here from Rockingham.
As the laps continue to tick down, Randall Coleman again getting out to a pretty big lead here by Rockingham standards at the start of this run. This definitely puts these drivers in a one-stop window to the end of this race. Now, if they really need to be in the box for as long as it takes to take 4 tires, they're still going to take 4 tires, right, Tommy?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a tough question, Joe. I've considered the 2-tire strategy here at Rockingham a couple times. You do definitely get a lot of track position, and that's something you got to keep in mind. But it's going to depend on how long that previous run was. If it was a long run and your tires are all around in the yellow, which is a possibility here at Rockingham, you really can't afford to take just 2 tires because you're going to blow those left sides if you're not too careful. So I think what we're mostly going to see is 4-tire stops, especially if we run this thing out green to the end, because you don't want to get in a situation where we still got 20 laps left in the race and you're stuck out on 2-lap tires, two right side tires. You're going to be dropping like a rock when the checkered flag falls.
Yeah, and if you're dropping like a rock when the checkered flag falls, that's definitely not a recipe to win at the Rock, because you don't want to drop this race. You don't want to drop a win at the Rock.
Absolutely not. You want to be like a rock. You skip across a lake, gliding across the smooth waves there. That's what you want to be, gliding across the surface of this track. Not so much dropping into the dark abyss at the bottom.
And as always, we're having fun right here on JTN, watching the Friends of Sim Racers Tour Racing League's Mountain Dew Dash Series, presented by the Fast Racing League, TDR Racing League, and Fuel Racing League. Say that 10 times fast if you could at home. Thank you so much for joining us. Randall Coleman still your leader, followed by Andrew Miller, Shaun Whitehill, Darren Ingram, and I believe Matt Watkins in 5th.
Yeah, we talked about Shaun Whitehill at the top of the broadcast. We talked about him even now as we had that restart, and he's hanging back with the Shaun Whitehill strategy, man. He's saving those tires. He stayed within a second of the leaders, and while Randall Coleman and Andrew Miller are still ahead of him by a couple tenths, I don't think it's panic time for that 12 car. There's a lot of time left in this race, and you can see a lot of these other drivers just about a lane up, half a lane up from that bottom yellow line. For Shaun Whitehill, he's still able to keep that car right on the bottom.
Yeah, he's doing a great job keeping it right on the bottom, too. with saving those tires, but it's also, oh, as he hits the wall. See, we can't say good things about people, Tommy. We just can't.
That's unfortunate for him. I hope it doesn't hurt too much. I don't think with these composite bodies he'll get a tire rub, but of course we were singing his praises. Then he has to go and do something like that.
Never fails. Never take our advice on betting on these sim races, which you shouldn't be betting on these sim races in the first place, but I digress. So Shaun Whitehill, heavy contact with the wall. What does he got to do now to kind of get back in his rhythm?
First of all, don't give me any ideas, Joe. That's a pretty spicy proposition you just foretold. But also, I think for Shaun Whitehill, like I said, don't panic yet. There's a long time in this race left. We just completed lap number 38 here, so we're almost moving up on halfway, but we still got plenty of time. And I think as we get longer into this run, you're going to see those tires fall off from the leaders, and Shaun Whitehill's going to be right back up there. No concern for the 12 camp right now.
Yeah, he's kind of, he started falling back to the 88, but now he's starting to pull back away. Darren Ingram, a guy that's really aggressive on these runs. He's really aggressive towards the start of the run, and then he's able to maintain that aggressiveness throughout a run. He's running there right behind Shaun. Does Shaun kind of worry about that in his mirror, or is he completely focused on getting those guys that are out front of his windshield?
I think anytime you're just focused on the mirror, is an issue. You don't want to put all your faith in what the guy behind you is doing. You got to look out ahead of you. Right now, we're seeing some cars actually pull away from him. Andrew Miller might be ready to make a move here on Randall Coleman and pounce for that lead as Shaun Whitehill keeping a similar gap every lap, but right now I think the most important thing for him to do is tick off the laps. Run your race. Don't worry about the guy behind you or the guys in front of you. If you have a strategy you know works, stick to it. Can't be wishy-washy, and you certainly can't make any decisions that's going to impact you negatively for the long run.
You see Matt Watkins make the pass on Darren Ingram for 4th. I was going to call it a battle, but it wasn't really a battle. The 88 kind of gave up that position, running high down in turns 3 and 4, and he's also going to lose a spot to Andrew Lemke in that 42, so knock Darren Ingram back to 6th.
Yeah, I think Ingram may have been a little bit more aggressive with that beginning stint there on those tires. It's going to cost him late, especially at Rockingham, man. I'm telling you what, you don't have tires late in a race, it's going to really impact how you run. Hopefully he'll get back up there. Maybe he's just saving in the middle, and he'll be back there by the end of this green flag run.
As we go back to our battle for the lead, you see Andrew Miller and Randall Coleman still battling for that position, but Miller just kind of hanging real tough there. He gets a lot lower through the corner, but Randall just gets a really good run off of the corner.
If you're Andrew Miller right now, do you even bother with passing Randall? I mean, it's going to be a lot of wear on your tires if you're going to press him hard. And not only is that going to wear your tires a lot more, it's also going to force Shaun Whitehill to catch up with you guys if you're side by side and losing time. So do you even bother passing him right now? We still got about halfway left in this race. Lap 44 coming to lap 45 this time by.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta, if you're Andrew Miller and we're starting off fresh on points, you definitely want to get as many as you can tonight because you know that 15 car is definitely going to be strong and you're going to be contending with him for the championship. So if you can go out there and snag some points up on him to start this year, having those few extra is going to help. Starting the segment 3, that's always going to help. So go out there, get that lap led, and then try to lead the most laps. That's another bonus point, and 1 point can mean a whole lot here in the Fast Racing League. It's the difference of 1 position, of course, but we've seen numerous championship battles come down to 1, 2, 3 points. So it'll be interesting to see if he continues to push the issue or if maybe he backs off a little bit, waiting for this pit stop. Where we've seen last week at Kentucky, or 2 weeks ago at Kentucky, rather, he pit early and it really helped him at that track that also was fairly tough on tires.
Yeah, Joe, I wouldn't be surprised if we have some early takers on pit stops. The one thing you got to look out for is if we have a caution while these guys are pitting. You don't want to get trapped a lap down, especially at a place like this where so far we've seen a lot of clean green flag running. So that could be, you talked about points racing, that could be a big blow to your points season at the end of the season. So and we not only points championships decided by 2, 3 points, sometimes 0, and it comes down to tiebreaker after tiebreaker. So right now for Andrew Miller, if he has any shot at winning this championship, I think if I'm him, cooler heads prevail. You know the saying, Joe. Right now, you just got to chill, relax, and maybe out on pit cycles he'll get to the lead.
As he looks to the outside there, we're going to take you through the field. He's kind of closing down that gap, so we're going to keep an eye on that battle right now. We're going to take you back through the field. We've talked about these top 5 a lot. Darren Ingram in 6th, Ricky Collette in 7th. 8th is Keith Patton in that Flowmaster number 69 car. Nice looking paint scheme there. Behind him is Brian Wolfe in the Fluid Studios number 29. Following him is Philip Parker in the 51, and we saw it towards the back of our screen. Zack Christos hits the wall, goes around. That's going to bring out a yellow here.
Wow, and that yellow, just as we had a battle for the lead, Joe, Andrew Miller looked like he was going to get to the inside of Randall Coleman. Randall went high in turn number 4. And unfortunately, the yellow came out, so Randall keeps, well, fortunately for Randall Coleman, he keeps the lead. Unfortunately for Andrew Miller, he's going to have to be relegated to second once again as caution comes out. It's lap 50 of 99 here in the Good Sam Club 125 at Rockingham.
Again, apologies to the viewers at home for us not having our stuff together like we should have at the start. Well, I wouldn't say that. It's technical difficulties, of course, but we're going to get you a replay here of the spin off of the one car from his roof cam that we got on the Allegiant roof cam on this Allegiant Chevrolet Camaro. You're going to see he's battling the 4-car Cody Luke going down into turn 1. He goes really aggressive into the corner. Those tires are old, and he just smacks the wall, and it's going to send him around, and then he just loops it going down the back stretch trying to save it, not spin, and then he spins, of course, because, you know, whenever you're trying to not do something, you always do it, it seems like here in an R2003.
Yeah, I mentioned it, Joe. Look, he entered that corner up high. I told you, man, if you enter that corner high and you stay up high, that exit really is a really shallow exit on that high side. So that's exactly what happened there to Zack Christos. He caught up into the wall, and unfortunately for him, it's going to kind of pancake his side a little bit, and that spin doesn't help things. But actually might have been a blessing in disguise getting that yellow. Get to not lose any laps, so he comes to pit road and fixes that damage.
As we saw the race off pit road, Matt Watkins is going to be your leader here on this restart. He gets by Randall Coleman. It looks like Shaun Whitehill's going to end up lining up third here. Be interesting to see. I think Matt's been saving his stuff. He's been saving his tires a lot. Shaun's actually going to restart second, it appears. But
well, Joe, the number 9 car of Randall Coleman had a little bit of an issue getting into the stall. He was a little bit too far forward. Crew had to push him back, and that cost him dearly. He's going to restart in third. That's the lowest restart he's had all week in this series.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough for him here on this restart. But he's going to have a really good pusher in his teammate Darren Ingram right behind him.
Yeah, and you know, Darren, he's faster in that short run, so I think he'll have a good shot at this. Definitely if they have any chance to get the lead on the restart. Although Matt Watkins and Shaun Whitehill, if he had a front row at Rockingham, boy, I'd pick that one any day of the week here in the Dash Series. That's probably their 2 strongest cars in the field on a long run. And right now, if they're up front, I think they're going to try everything they can to stay up front while saving their tires. It's going to be hard to beat them.
Yeah, as we're going to take you through as we reset the field here. Matt Watkins is going to start up front. Shaun Whitehill to his outside. Randall Coleman's going to be there in third. Andrew Lemke in fourth. Darren Ingram in that Black Lives Matter Credit 1 Chevy in fifth. Andrew Miller's going to line up sixth. The Flowmaster 69 to Keith Patton there in seventh. Eighth is going to be Brian Wolfe in the Fluid Studios machine. Ninth is Philip Parker in the RepairableVehicles.com Chevy. 10th is the 4 of Cody Luke. 11th is going to be that 98 of Ricky Collette. And 12th, rounding out, is going to be Zack Christos in that Allegiant Chevy after causing the last incident. And then currently out of the race, and then Tyler Stallhood's going to line up 13th. And currently out of the race is the 3 of Bill Myrna, that Bass Pro Shops machine. After finishing 5th last week, has a tough break and does not make it to the end of this race.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for the Myrnahan team. Points certainly starting off the season with a DNF is not exactly what you want to see. Hopefully they can rebound next week. And Joe, speaking of next week, where are we next week here in the Fast Mountain Dew Dash Series?
Oh, we're going to be at the beautiful, historical, amazing complex that is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You'll join us live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday for the second round of Segment 3. Segment 3, of course, for Dale. Here for the Fast Racing League's Mountain Dew Dash Series. With all that being said, thank you so much for joining us. We see all the views. Go ahead and feel free to comment in our chat. We'll try to, if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them throughout the race, no matter how silly or crazy they are. You know who you are. Anyways, pace car is going to roll off, get off of the track, let these guys turn it loose again. Matt Walkins, Shaun Whitehill, your front row. Green flags back out. We're underway once again racing here at Rockingham.
Already, Matt Watkins pulling out just a little bit. You can see every time, man, that bottom line gets a good restart, and especially through turn 1 and 2. It's going to help a lot. Shaun Whitehill on the outside is trying to hang tough, but Randall Coleman with that preferred line is going to see if he can take back second place looks like going into 3, he is.
Well, and Shaun drifts really high there, and that's going to allow the 88 of Darren Ingram to also get to his inside.
Shaun Whitehill in that 12 Cheese at Menards Ford Mustang going the wrong way. Of course, it is early in the run, and I think if anyone is not concerned about that, it's going to be Shaun Whitehill. He knows he's going to have to save tires. I think he's not in panic mode again, but right now up front, Matt Watkins leads with Randall Coleman in second, Darren Ingram third, and Shaun Whitehill in fourth. With Andrew Lemke rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, Lemke definitely gained a couple spots there on the pitch strategy, but he was running out there in 5th. But a guy that really gained a lot of spots was the 88 of Darren Ingram. Went up 3 positions there. No, only gained a position on pit road, but after the restart, he's up 3 from where he was when that caution came out.
And look at this, Joe. We got a pass for the lead. That's that 9 car of Randall Coleman. I wonder if Matt Watkins is just letting him by. I think that's a smart driver, a smart move. He's just letting Randall take the lead. He's not worried about it right now. He's saving his tires. And here we are, lap 57 of 99 right now. He's just going to take it easy. Let Randall burn his tires off and save it for the end of a run. I'll be surprised if that 15 car isn't there by the end of this thing, because certainly he's going to have to do a good job of saving those things, you'd think, a champion like he is.
Well, you'd hope that he could save those things because those tires are going to be so important as this race winds down. Randall Coleman leading here, though, takes it back. He's definitely going to clinch most laps led here pretty soon in this race. Again, we talk about points being so important here in the Dash Series. Randall doing a great job trying to get max points this evening.
Points, points, and more points, Joe. That's the beauty of a full season championship. The real championship. Every race matters. Instead of just the last 10 or the last 1, every single race matters for points. And right now, Randall Coleman making his case to try and go for that championship to take it away from the past 2-season champion there in the 15 car right now in second place. That's Matt Watkins in the 15.
As we see William Page tuning in saying, "Go Wandle." That is Go Wandle. Thank you, Will, for tuning in. And yeah, I guess we're in the Randall Coleman cheering club up here. No one picked him, of course, because he never likes to be picked, and he seems to have terrible luck. But Tommy, you want to jinx him real quick?
I don't know if I'm going to do that too soon here, Joe. I mean, he's got a good run. This guy needs a good run. He's had some bad luck lately, and I think that 9 needs to turn things around with a fresh season, fresh start. I think he'll be all right here. Right now, just finished lap 60. We've got about 40 laps to go in this race, and right now it's the Randall Coleman show. Although Matt Watkins hanging tough in second, and I think he's saving tires right now, Joe. He's falling back just a little bit.
And we keep seeing, towards the back of your screen, you keep seeing this 42 of Andrew Lemke in the Evergreen Speedway machine, his local track or home track or whatever you'd want to call it. We keep seeing him. He really drifts up off of turn 2. We'll see if he does it again here. Really being aggressive, getting back on the throttle through the center of the corner.
Yeah, you don't want to get too high. We saw it already with Zack hitting the outside wall out of 2 and bringing out the last caution that we had. So you want to be careful, especially when those tires get older and the grip falls away. He might be in a world of hurt if things get too away from him, certainly.
We're going to keep watching this kind of mid-pack area, get some of these other guys some TV time. You see Keith Patton, he's staying a little closer to this lead pack this run, doing a great job in that 69 machine. Had a great run a few weeks ago, well, probably about a month ago at the Chicagoland Speedway, I believe. But he's doing a great job in that Flowmaster machine. You see, again, Lemke just, it seems like he kind of is squirrely coming off the corners. I don't know if it's maybe tight or if it's loose, but kind of sawing on the wheel there.
Yeah, I wonder if he has any damage from a previous encounter. That might affect that car's handling negatively. Like we mentioned with our Autosim driver, Spotlight driver, Ricky Collette, who was involved in an early incident. Ricky Collette right now in that 98 car back in 7th is, I want to mention someone, Shaun Whitehill in 4th place right now. He's
falling back.
He had the same pace on this run as he had in previous ones.
As the caution flag is being displayed, we'll get you see who that could be. Looks like it's going to be the 51 of Philip Parker. The back end of that machine is absolutely destroyed. But, Tommy, I just want to make sure everyone knows you did make a mistake right there. Ricky Collette is not our Autosim driver spotlights. Oh, the 51 gets in the wall more. Really getting aggressive. Ricky's our in-race reporter. Those two things were different this week. Come on, Tommy.
I made a mistake, and I'll own up to that one, let me tell you.
Come on. We can't give these sponsors extra airtime. We're going to get you a replay of this 51.
RepairableVehicles.com is about right. That back end certainly smushed in quite a bit.
You're going to see he's going to be going into turn 3 here. And again, just same thing that happened with Ricky Collette earlier, and Brian Wolfe with the, I don't know if I want to call it a plow, but he definitely hit that 51 car a little too hard for my liking.
Oh my goodness, Joe. I just saw the replay on the monitor there, and that's quite the hard hit. I hope both drivers are okay. Especially Brian Wolfe. He hit him head on, and boy, that crumple zone might be big on these cars, but these drivers can still feel it. That was quite the impact.
Yeah, tough hit there for the 51 machine, and hopefully Brian Wolfe is also okay behind the wheel of his car. As we're going to have a new leader again here on the restart. But he got sent around. Darren Ingram around on the apron, got tagged by the 15 machine of Matt Watkins as they were coming off pit road.
Boy, that's some drama there. You don't really see that too often. Accidents coming out of pit road. I mean, especially two cars tangling. That's nuts. And that's not going to affect Ingram's tires very well, Joe. That's going to hurt those tires.
As you're going to see a replay here, I can say this is our first incident under caution here on JTN. The 15, he really hit him there. I don't know if maybe he just didn't realize if he wasn't clear or what happened, but big hit by the 15 to the back of that 88 car.
Well, that's an odd wreck. You really don't see that, especially from a driver like Matt Watkins, a series champion. I'm baffled at that one. That's not really what you want to see, especially after just pitting there at a track that's tires are so important here.
Well, that's really going to hurt that 88 machine most likely here. Tommy, we got a few questions coming in. Ryan Pace writes, what is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Well, that's a tough question, Joe. I mean, I was just talking about this earlier today. I really like the Declaration of Independence as a document. And while I don't think I've ever actually watched it, I'm going to go for National Treasure. I believe that's the one where they try and get the Declaration of Independence. Am I correct?
I think so.
I hope it is. In any case, I'll go for that one just because I like the Declaration of Independence.
You know, I think that's a really good pick there for that. You know what? I'm just going to agree with you because honestly, I don't know what other movie Nicolas Cage has been in that I think is as good as that movie.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot that he's been in. He has quite the prolific acting career, but for movies that I've seen or even know of, I think that might be it for me. But we got another question here, Joe, from William Page. Want to know who drives the donut car? That is the 27 of Tyler Stallhood, out here making a return to NR 2003 and sim racing as a whole in that number 27 machine.
And real quick, Ryan Pace writes in his favorite Nicolas Cage movie is The Rock. And Ryan, just our chief statistician here at JTN, who doesn't like to join us for broadcasts, just with those great fun facts. He joins us on the live stream, of course. You can check him out in the comments most nights that we're broadcasting. But we reset the field. Darren Ingram's going to be your leader. Randall Coleman to his outside. Matt Watkins lining up third. Shaun Whitehill fourth. And Andrew Lemke rounding out your top five.
Well, we'll see how Darren Ingram does in this restart and how those tires hold up. He's got the 15 who just tagged him in the back out of pit road last time by, lining up right behind him as Shaun Whitehill out there on the outside line in row 2 as Randall Coleman makes up the front row. And green flag back in the air here in Rockingham. Randall Coleman spinning the tires just a little bit on the outside line.
That was a big check up there, and that's really going to cost the 12 of Shaun Whitehill and the 98 of Ricky Collette. They're both going to lose multiple spots here on this restart, but you know who loved to see that? Darren Ingram in that 88 car and Matt Walkins in the 15. They're out in positions 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how we can hang on, especially if we go green to the end, because it's going to be about a 30-lap run as we just completed lap number 69 here from Rockingham. So we'll have to see how this race progresses and how that 88 car is able to cope. We've seen him fall back later in a run earlier, although, got to say, last green flag run, Joe, that 88 really had tire saving down to a science.
Yeah, and Tommy, that was a really nice comment you got in there. But Darren Ingram's still your leader. Matt Watkins in second, but Randall Coleman hounding him for that position. He looks to the inside to try to make the pass.
Yeah, that 9 wants that position again, and I think Matt Watkins is going to let him have it. The 15 car obviously is trying to save his tires, as we mentioned last run as well. It looks like that 9 of Randall Coleman, he's trying to hunt down that 88 car and take back his lead. Really sends it into turn 3 that time.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful, though. He is the owner of the Revolution Motorsports, which is the team that the 88 also drives for, but you definitely don't want to wreck up another one of your teammates or one of your cars.
John, I'm concerned if that 9 car is going to be setting it into the corner like that. It's going to really burn up his tires. I don't know if that's the smartest move to go. We have a lot of laps left in this race, And that 9 car better be careful, or else he's going to be running on rims by the end of this thing.
Well, Tommy, a few weeks ago we talked about clean air, and I believe you said you never want to hear that term again, clean versus dirty air. Well, could Randall Coleman maybe want to get out there in that clean air and help with the tightness of the overall tightness of his car?
Yeah, Joe, we'll have to see. Especially, if you're going to be anywhere on the track, you want to be in the lead, of course. So, I think right now that 88 car is just going to have to be comfortable up in there, not worry about what's behind him in the mirror, and just save tires. Of course, just about maintaining that gap and hoping you have enough rubber for the end of this race to compete. But right now, that 9 car just filling up that mirror of the 88 as he has certainly good exits out of the corner.
Yeah, he exits a little bit higher than the 88. The 88's keeping it a little lower. I wonder if maybe Darren's saving his tires just a little bit more. Probably can afford to do so with no one out in front of him, making that car tight. But Coleman's still hounding him for the lead. Looks to the inside, down the front straightaway. Looks like he'll have the position going into turns 1. And there you see, too, Andrew Lemke making a move for third. You see both those battles on the screen. They're side by side off of 2.
Wow, Joe, that's really tight racing and amazing to keep it clean, especially off of turn 2 there. Really impressive driving from the 15 of Matt Watkins to hold it on the outside line and keep that 3rd position, especially up front, too, with Darren Ingram holding that lead from Randall Coleman, even though Coleman had the preferred line.
Yeah, Coleman definitely had a great run going down into the corner, but I wonder how much that really heated up those tires. We talk about tire wear a lot, but what about tire heat? Heat in those tires is not good, especially at this Rockingham Speedway, or Speedway. Rockingham Speedway, The Rock, as it is affectionately called.
But you might as well be driving on rocks, Joe, with how abrasive this surface is. Looks like Darren Ingram got a little bit of tight of a condition in that car coming out of turn 4 last time by. He scraped the wall just slightly. That let Randall Coleman close the gap just a little bit. Boy, and it's under a tenth that time by. Right now, we're on lap 77 of 99. This race in its closing stages. Tires are going to be the name of the game. And right now, Randall Coleman looking for the inside lead on Darren Ingram this time by.
Yeah, he keeps looking for this position. I don't know if he'll be able to get it, because if Darren can stay even with him through the middle of the corner. Oh, he barely cleared him. Randall Coleman takes the lead down the back straightaway here at Rockingham.
That was close. That's 2 drivers saying, I trust you, you trust me. Making sure they don't touch each other off that corner. It's social distancing time for sure. For that 88 car, I think he's going to start sliding back now. I hope he didn't burn up his tires too much. My concern also is for that 9 car. As hard as he fought to get back up there and take the lead, Matt Watkins might be sitting in a good position. And unfortunately, another car that might not be in a good position at all is that 12 car, Shaun Whitehill. He slid back all the way to 6th, Joe.
Yeah, it looked like Shaun got really high in turns 1 and 2 a few laps ago, and that allowed the 98 of Ricky Collette to get to his inside, and then a bunch of other cars freight trained him. But now you also see Ricky falling way back with heavy right side damage to that 98 machine that he must have hit the wall as well.
Yeah, it looks like that 98 car is struggling a little bit there. Hard to see with, of course, TWB on the side here, but we got 20 laps to go in this race, and honestly, you could put the top 6 or 7 under a blanket the way tire wear can shake out at this track. I don't think Darren Ingram's out of this thing just yet. The 15 has yet to get around him, and right now Randall Coleman even pulling away just a little bit, so it could be any one of these guys. Don't count out Andrew Lemke, Andrew Miller, or Shaun Whitehill just yet, guys.
Well, if you're Randall, you definitely want that 88 to stay in your mirror as long as you can, as now the pass is being made for 3rd. Andrew Lemke looking to the inside of Matt Watkins down the front straightaway. This is definitely where he wants to be going into this corner. That inside line is so powerful down here. Let's see if he can get a good run off. He does. He clears the 15 through the center of the corner. Give 3rd position to Lemke in the 42.
Oof, really impressive there by the 42 car. Again, I still believe that 15 car might be saving tires, but there's going to be a question, Joe, a point in time where maybe saving tires isn't the move. Maybe you got to go for it, and I think there's still a lot of time left in this race. We got less than 20 to go. Lap 83 of 99, so there's still plenty of time left, but at some point, he's got to push that go button and try and make his case to win this race. As you see that 9 car, Randall Coleman just scooting away from this field now, 3.5 tenths up on everybody else.
Well, as we watch, too, you see the 42 of Lemke is really hounding the rear bumper of the 88. Now the 15 looks to his inside, just looking, though, of course. Doesn't get it actually down there. As the 42 is going to be... Oh, Darren Ingram shuts the door on him going down into 1. There was a lot of words going through my head at that moment. Race fans.
Look down the inside. It's going to be inside again. They're almost 3 wide wrecking down the backstretch there. That 42 really being aggressive to try and get around that 88 as the 15 out of the inside of the 42.
Yeah, Matt Watkins hit the go button there, hit the boost. Looking to the inside of the 42 of Andrew Lemke, and then Darren Ingram in that 88 looked to make a block on that 42 as well.
Really intense racing.
Oh!
Touch at turn number 2. Andrew Lemke into the wall at 15, got into the right rear quarter panel, and unfortunately for that 42 car, a good run.
Now Shaun Whitehill's starting to close in on this battle for third as well back there, getting to the inside of Andrew Miller for fourth.
And all this racing, Joe, that's just allowing Randall Coleman to extend his lead. It's now to half a second. If he can hang on, we got 15 laps to go in this race. But Matt Watkins looks like he is pushing that go button. The 15 on the inside of Darren Ingram in the 88. Remember, those two cars tangled leaving pit road last time. Right now, the 88 holds steady in second, but that 15 filling up that mirror for Darren Ingram.
Well, Darren is definitely one of the harder guys to pass here in the Fast Racing League. Does a great job holding his position and really battling you for every inch of real estate on the track. But Matt Walkins sends it going down into turns 3 and 4, and he's going to make the pass. Or no, he can't. Ingram still to his outside going down into turn 1 and 2. Matt pushes him up the track. They're going to really both send it down into this corner, but I think that's going to give Matt the position off of turn 2, and he takes it. Matt Walkins to second place.
Darren might be losing his tires just a little bit there. Want to note something, there's Shaun Whitehill making the move into 4th place on Andrew Miller. That 12 car ain't out of this thing just yet, Joe.
Well, and he's really got to hope that he can get by this 88 really quick, and then the 9 and the 15 battle really hard for this win, which I have no doubt that they're going to do. But Shaun Whitehill's closing in on 3rd position of Darren Ingram.
This is going to be tough for one of these drivers to get back up there. Not only are they losing their tire grip, but also, you know, you're running out of time, so they're going to have a lot of ground to make up in just a short amount of time. On old tires, it's going to be tough. And there's the 47 on the inside of the 12, trying to get back that 4th spot. Doesn't do it this time though. And Joe, it is 10 laps to go. Lap 90 of 99. It's the TWB 10 to go. Joe announcing a new company being formed out of the spawn of Tommy Bordeaux's brain. That guy's a genius, and we have a website coming later this fall, twb.com. Check it out for a brand new business coming to you soon. And also check out TommyBordeaux.com, available on the web, to see what happens in the Tommy Bordeaux sphere of influence regarding racing. As cars are slowing, we might have a yellow.
Oh, we definitely have a yellow, and this changes everything, folks. Again, so sorry about the lap counter being kind of out of sorts. We're going to keep you up to date as much as we can while calling this action. Just know we're getting down to crunch time here. These drivers are going to be nothing but aggressive on this last run. Thank you so much. I see all kinds of positive comments down there in the chat. It means so much to see you guys enjoying our live streams here. And yeah, I can't tell you how much it means. Hit the like button, subscribe. You know the rest. Go to our Facebook page, give us a like over there. As these cars are going to be coming to pit road, we're going to try to we're going to see what the battle off pit road is going to look like first before we get you a replay of whatever the incident was.
Joe, this has huge race implications right now. All these cars going down pit road, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. Maybe a driver takes 2 tires and takes that gamble. But after the long green flag run we just had, I doubt that's going to be in anybody's cards. But if you're going to win, maybe you have to be aggressive. I think one car to look at here is going to be that 88 of Darren Ingram. He might take 2 tires and put himself back into the lead as long as he doesn't get spun off a pit road. He might have a shot at this thing. That 88 car, right side's going on. Looks like they're going around to the left as well. That 88 taking all 4 tires. Looks like we're going to have a whole field on fresh 4 Goodyear tires.
Randall Coleman's going to have that first pit box, but he has to do a really good job of launching out of that. Don't know if he's going to get it done, but he does, and Darren Ingram's going to come off pit road second.
He does, and that's going to be huge, Joe. Not only does he get to pick his line on this restart, but also he's going to be up front and hopefully clean air. So I think for that number 9 car, that's going to be huge for him as long as he can get a good restart. Seeing how fast that 9 car has been on the short run, he might just have a chance here to win this race. As we have right now, lap number 92 of 99. This thing's coming down to the wire. Could be anybody's race.
As it looks like the caution is for the 69 of Keith Patton. Again, getting loose, going down into turns 1 and 2. He spins around, makes hard contact with the outside wall. That's a tough break for that 69 team.
Cody Luke almost getting involved in that 4 car. Remember, Joe, we mentioned a couple minutes ago how great they ran at Chicagoland. Both those cars, the 69 and the 4, had some great finishes nearing the end of last Dash Series season. So, unfortunate start to this season, but for those cars, hopefully they can recover. Looks like those cars are still both in the race, Joe, so hopefully they can salvage a good finish yet.
Well, and we got a lot of cars left here, which also means we could have a lot of carnage coming to the fans at home. Thank you so much for tuning in to JTN. A couple ways you can support us. Hit the like button on this video. Hit subscribe here on YouTube at Joe Twansky. I'm Joe Twansky, of course, joined by Tommy Bordeaux as, well, pretty much always here on JTN. We'll be coming back live at you Saturday night at 10:40 for the United States Online Racing League's Red Bull Cup Series race from the Kansas Speedway. That one should definitely be a thriller as it is an elimination race for the round of 10 as they move on to the round of 8 the following week. Another way you can support us, go to Johto Designs. There's a JTN shirt up on there. You can buy that using code JTN2. It'll give you 10% off. It also gives us a kickback here at JTN. That kickback is Johto Designs is also my design company. Wow! It's a great thing to see here. Check those shirts out. There's a bunch of different designs on there for all your racing needs and there's some cute dog shirts on there too, Tommy, don't you think?
Absolutely, Joe. There's not quite a model dog quite like Bristol. He's one of a kind, and one of a kind is this race. Certainly, it's been very exciting through and through. The pace car lights are out, Joe, and well, we're going to have 5 laps to go when they take the green flag. So it's anybody's race right now. We could see chaos, calamity, and carnage. We got a bunch of drivers on brand new tires. It's going to be all out, aggressive driving for the win here in the first race of this new segment in the DAS Series season here at the Fast Racing League. Randall Coleman lining up on the inside of row 1 with Darren Ingram to the outside. 2 very aggressive, very fast drivers in the short run. And right now, Matt Watkins, last series champion there in the 15 car on the inside. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, as the pace car pulls off, they're going to come through the restart zone, get this race restarted with 5 laps to go. Hopefully Randall doesn't spin those tires again. He doesn't. Green flag back out here, and the 27 Tyler Stallhood through the grass, but that's not going to bring out a yellows. Darren Ingram gets a great launch on the outside.
Yeah, we'll see. Have to see how that outside holds off of turn 2. Looks like Randall's going to clear him there. Important to note here, if a yellow does come out in these final 5 laps, the final 10 laps, it's race back to the yellow. So we're going to see these guys race back to the line no matter what happens. There are no green-white checkers in this series, so lap 96 right now out of 99. We got 4 laps to go. It's Randall Coleman in front as the 88 car really close to that back bumper.
Yeah, Darren's got to be really careful, though, because he can't spin out that 9 and cause a caution. He can bump him and move him out of the way, but he can't cause a caution, because if he does so, he moves to the end of the longest line in post-race. But also watch that 15 of Matt Walkins. He's shown that he's got the stuff over the long run. Can he do it on the short run as Randall Coleman still leads here?
We saw some spins last week in New Hampshire involving some driver that might be in the booth tonight. 3 laps to go, lap 97 of 99 here from Rockingham. The 9 car, Randall Coleman, leading Darren Ingram in the 88, Matt Watkins in 3rd, with Andrew Miller and Shaun Whitehill making up the top 5. Those top 5 pulling a little bit away from the rest of the field. Just 2 laps to go. Randall Coleman pulling away from the field as it is.
Yeah, and Randall's dominated all night. Can he do it for these last 2 laps? He's got to put 2 spectacular laps together. Coleman down Thunder Alley here down the backstretch.
2 to go this time. Now taking the white flag as they come out of turn number 4. White flag in the air. Randall Coleman's dominated this race. He won the pole. He's led the most laps. Can he finish it off here tonight? Just 4 more corners away for that number 9 car. Does anybody have anything left for Randall Coleman?
I don't think they do, Tommy. You see Darren Ingram gets in the wall, blocks the 15 hard for second. We look back at that as the 15's going to look to the inside, but he definitely will not be able to get it done. Coming off of turn 4, Randall Coleman's going to see his first checkered flag here in the Mountain Dew Dash Series in a long time. Randall Coleman, the winner here at Rockingham.
What a race, Joe. I mean, we had a lot of green flag running and a lot of late race yellow action and a lot of interesting situations here, given with that spin off of pit road between the 15 and the 88, who, by the way, finished 2nd and 3rd in this race. Very closely, might I add. They were really hauling and hustling to get that 2nd spot. Fantastic race. Congratulations to Randall Coleman. Really well done for that number 9 team. A fantastic race for that Switch Chevrolet. And, wow, pure domination here at Rockingham.
Yeah, as you see all the drivers congratulating him. Randall, obviously, the owner, leader, whatever you want to call him, lead admin of this league, does a great job in all of his races. You can check out the Fast Racing League in the link in the description to go sign up and join us as you see him burn it down in front of these fans here at Rockingham. The flagman waving the yellow flag for some reason. Well, that's because our drivers decided to junk up their cars. But Randall Coleman, your winner here at Rockingham, burns it down in that number 9 Switch Chevy Camaro. He's definitely got to be enjoying those burnouts, Tommy. I know you know a thing or two about those, but oh man, when you don't have one in a while, it's definitely got to feel good.
It always feels good, Joe. Sometimes you almost get used to winning. So when it's a while since you've won, it feels so good to get back in victory lane. And I'm sure Randall Coleman's ecstatic right now. That non-car's had some bad luck, like we mentioned tonight. So to see him win again and do one hell of a burnout, congratulations to him. That's awesome.
As he's still burning it down. Hopefully that motor's reached its limits for a number of races that it can compete in here at the North Carolina Speedway Rockingham. But a great job by Randall Coleman and all the guys at Rev to get a 1-2 finish this evening with him and Darren Ingram finishing second.
Yeah, it was a very good race and a very good finish for that team, Joe. I'm going to take you through the official standings here. The final results here from Rockingham. Randall Coleman, of course, taking the checkered flag here on JTN at the Rock, leading the most laps of the race and starting from pole. In second place, it was Darren Ingram in the 88 car, followed by Matt Watkins in the 15, Shaun Whitehill in the 12, and Andrew Miller in the 47, rounding out the top 5. In sixth place, it was the number 42 of Andrew Lemke. In seventh was our in-race reporter, Ricky Collette. We got to talk to him just a little bit in this race. And in eighth place was the number 1 car of Zack. In ninth was Cody Luke in the 4 car, getting a top 10 for that 4 team. In 10th was Phil Parker, in the 51 car, recovering after some hard damage to the rear end of the car early on. Number 29 of Brian Wolfe in 11th, Keith Patton in the 69 12th, Tyler Stallhood in 13th, and our only retirement for the race, number 3 of Bill Myrnahan in 14th. Well, Joe, Randall Coleman has pulled the car into victory lane. We saw a fantastic race here tonight at the Rock. Your thoughts on today's excellent racing event?
Well, Tommy, that sums it up. It was an excellent race. If you're a fan of racing, you saw absolutely everything that makes racing great. You saw some great side-by-side battles. You saw some amazing restarts that really jumbled up the field. Pit strategy ended up playing a role. Those pit crews did a great job, especially for that 88 of Darren Ingram, gaining a lot of spots on pit road throughout the night. You also saw a couple wrecks. You saw a couple cautions. You saw how tricky this Rockingham Speedway can be for these drivers. Either, a lot of them were complaining about cars being tight, but we saw a couple incidents where guys just lost it under loose conditions.
Yeah, this is a track that if Darlington didn't have the moniker, it would also be the track too tough to tame. Rockingham's a tough one. I mean, you got different corners everywhere you go. A front stretch that isn't really straight at all. So really impressive here for Randall Coleman to have a great victory here. It's hard to win in any race, but especially here at the Rock in this series, you bet that's going to be a difficult one. I don't know, Joe. It was a very great race to watch. I hope the fans at home enjoyed watching as well. It was so nice to be back in the booth with you, and certainly looking forward to Saturday as well.
Yeah, Saturday's going to be a great one. Join us at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's a little weird time, but it is for the United States Online Racing League's elimination race at the Kansas Speedway for as they whittle their chase play-oof. Is it play-oof?
Play-oofs.
Play-oofs. Their play-oof field down to 8 drivers. We saw Steven Merzlak win a thriller at Richmond this past Saturday, and we're gonna have another one at Kansas with a really tight play-oof battle. I gotta start catching myself on that. That's a little different for me, but it's gonna be a great one, Tommy.
It sure should be, and you mentioned earlier in the broadcast it is an elimination race, so there's going to be some high-octane action out there from Kansas. So, Joe, it's also a theme race. We're going to see some SpongeBob SquarePants cars out there. I know I'm going to be happy about that, and certainly it'll be fun to broadcast and see what these guys can bring to the track.
Well, and we hope the kids at home are ready, because Are You Ready, Kids will definitely be mentioned a couple times during that broadcast. We hope you join us for that. If you don't or can't get the chance, it'll be available for a replay immediately after. Or, if you're watching the live stream, you can always look back at it. Make sure we have those options for you. So if you need to see an incident again or for your viewing pleasures, you can do that, of course. Or if maybe you thought you heard something a little weird, you can check back and see it. But with all that being said, if you want more awesome NR 2003 content, make sure you hit subscribe right here on YouTube.com. Hit the like button. Let us know you love what you're seeing. You love what you're doing. The chat went absolutely crazy tonight for Randall Coleman winning. A fan favorite nonetheless. That's a fan favorite, no doubt. Use the wrong word. They're still learning here at JTN, but it's going to be a great week of racing. We're going to have the Road America recap Thursday evening. It should be. The Cup race will be on, but we'll make sure that recap gets up as it usually does, which will be a live premiere. We will also have the Saturday United States Online Racing League. That's a lot easier to say than USORL, for me at least. Their race Saturday night, and then we'll be back here Tuesday night for the next round of the Dash Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For everyone here at JTN, make sure you go over to our Facebook, hit the like there, follow us so that way you get any updates on when we're going to be going live streaming. If you have any inquiries about having your league broadcasted, your online league broadcasted, or sponsorship opportunities on our broadcast, that's another way that you contact us over there on Facebook. We can get talking and down to business. Love to see all the interactions. Love you guys so much. You've been such a great crowd this evening. And as always, for everyone here at JTN, for Tommy Bordeaux and myself, Joe Twansky, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time, this Saturday at the Kansas Speedway. Fill your hearts with love, respect, and happiness. See you guys Saturday night.